Finish this sentence for me. I knew we were making a difference when.
We were selling out every year.
That is a good one. That is a good way to measure that.
That's me. And like I said, Dr. Dave, we are literally we have to do a different venue because New York, I'm like,
That is
what?
called favor and blessings.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Your
Truly,
cup is running over.
truly. I'm
Yeah.
grateful. We're grateful.
Yeah. Same for me. I would say I knew we were making a difference when I think the two biggest indicators for me I mentioned is the people coming back year after year
Yes.
because I feel like that's such a huge thing. People like don't even go to ASHA convention once in their career.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
for
yeah.
people to come to our conference multiple times, I think is huge. And then the second one is people who have told us, I met my business partner through you, or through this conference. I met my best friend through this conference. I think those like messages that we get from people are so meaningful because that's exactly why we do it. That's why we bring people together, because you have no idea the difference you can make when people come together and bring their beautiful minds together to create beautiful things.
Welcome to the Life, Language, and Lyrics podcast, where we explore our passions, live with purpose, and face our fears. I'm Lena, and some of you may know me as Dr. Davis. I'm a professor, speech language pathologist, baker, and lover of people with a mission to bring a little Southern comfort to your day. Today, I am so privileged to have two very special ladies here who very early in their careers have created a major impact on the profession of speech language pathology in very unique ways. And I'm so honored that they're here today to share their stories. I'm joined by Chelsie Esek-Onyeahialum, who's an SLP, entrepreneur, and doctoral student, and Jordyn Montique, who's also an SLP and entrepreneur, and together they are the founders of Black SLP Magic. Thank y'all for being here today.
We're so
Thank you for
excited to be
having
here.
us. Yes. Thank you for having us.
Chelsie and Jordyn, before we get into all the things that you've done, because it is a lot, and I know y'all share some of this on your social medias, but can you tell us a little bit about who you are outside of speech language pathology?
Hey, Jay. We always do this.
I know. Okay. So outside of speech, great question. I feel like just as a field, I feel like SLP takes up so much of our identities. We're so many other things. I biggest things about me, I would say I am a wife. I don't know if I'm still technically a newlywed, but I'm keep that going. I'm a newlywed. Also a stepmom. And I am a serial entrepreneur. I have been since childhood. I've had multiple quote unquote businesses. And I am really into natural hair and social media. I have like a professional social media, but also have a social media I do for fun. That's more like lifestyle things. And yeah, I'm really big into just people and advocacy and Black people. If we're being real.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and for me, I am a daughter of a Nigerian immigrant family. I am the youngest of four. I just like Jordyn, I'm consider myself maybe not a newlywed anymore, but recently married. And we currently reside in Dallas, Texas. So I'm a good old Texan at heart. Um, I'm a dog mom of a mini schnauzer. He has blue eyes. His name is Cozy. We love him so much. And what else? And I'm a lover of movement. I was a double major in speech pathology and in dance at University of North Texas in Denton. And so, although I'm not using my dance degree actively, I have been a Pilates instructor, bar instructor, all the things. So, I always just like to have movement in my life. Just kind of keeps my blood flowing, my life flowing. It helps me a lot with just emotional regulation. So I've been in my running era lately. And so, yeah, also planning a conference is been fun with doing it with my best friend. A little fun fact about Jordan and I, we met in grad school with Dr. Davis as our professor at Howard University. And since then, we've been in each other's weddings, business partners, life partners, all the things.
That's beautiful. Yeah, y'all got a lot going on. I thought I had a lot going on, but y'all got a lot going on.
I do. I'm trying to cut back. Every time I say that, I get another idea, but I
It's
am
kind of
actively trying to
hard.
cut
It's
back.
kind of hard. You know what it is? You've opened the door for creativity to flow, and once you do that, it just
Can't
keeps
close.
coming.
It's so true. And that's so interesting because as like growing up, I would have said I'm not creative, but I just feel like I've found there's so many different ways to be creative. Like there's not just one way. I feel like that's a message. Like there's more than one way to be something.
That's very true. Okay, already giving us the little tidbits. So you both of you also have like you're best friends, but you also have very distinct professional identities. How did each of you find your lane within the profession? And then when did you realize that your work was going to extend beyond just traditional clinical practice?
I love that question. I don't think I've ever told you this, Dr. Davis, but my parents, the way I fell into speech pathology is my parents own a home health business in Houston for
Ah,
many, many, many years. So
okay.
I grew up heavily around like PT, physical therapy, occupational and speech, and nursing. So I knew I didn't want to do nursing. I knew I didn't want to do physical, and occupational therapy was not really my lane. But one day a speech therapist was on the case and I was like, oh, okay, what does she do? And that's how I fell into specifically speech pathology. But then doing my research and kind of
Mm-hmm.
taking your courses like dysphagia,
Mm-hmm.
yes, dysphagia, and then learning the different populations we can serve is how I fell into medical SLP. And then as I was growing in the field, I learned different settings. Of course, there's pros and cons of both. And then that's how I fell into my love for acute care. So to have my identity within acute care, but also bridging it to Black SLP magic, I just am heavily influenced by health literacy, health practices, health disparities, patient outcomes, just the way that our people understand healthcare is very different in working bedside. So finding a way that I can bridge that within all sectors is also one of my goals. So that's how I kind of fell into
Yeah,
all the things.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
it.
Chelsea and I honestly have like the same stories, but opposite because
Very.
I grew up in special education. Both my parents are special education teachers. I remember
Oh,
being in my mom's classroom when the SLP came in to the little horseshoe table with her bag of toys, and all the kids ran up to her table, and she was just sitting there playing for like 30 minutes, and then she got up and left, and I was like, that looks perfect. So I knew like that was in like elementary school. So I knew very early on that I didn't want to be a teacher because that's what both my parents were. But also knew I wanted to work with kids, knew I wanted to like help people, have an impact on people's lives. So again, I grew up around like disabled children, working the Special Olympics since I could like walk. So I definitely just like grew up in this area. And then as far as like making an impact outside of speech, I think it kind of just fell upon me. I've always done like activism and wanted to make a bigger impact on things, like leave things better than I left them. And when we were both coming up in speech, we didn't really have a lot of role models. There was like social media wasn't booming like it is now. I never saw a Black SLP until I got to Howard. So for us, it was like, okay, I want to be representation. That's why I started my social media. I just wanted people to see me and see that like Black SLPs exist, and talk about my like adverse experiences I had at a PWI. And then from there, I think just seeing the impact that I could make, it's like you said, it kind of just like opened the door to there's so much more I can do. And so now the ideas just keep coming of there's so much more I can do to help, and that just like it it like paves my path, I guess, for everything that I do now.
yeah, that's nice. I didn't know both of your starter stories. It's always interesting to hear how people find the profession because it's like people know, but then it's also not the most popular at the same time.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you did come from the Howard University, right? Oh, that is one of my bragging points. I like to say, yeah, I actually taught Jordyn and Chelsie.
And you're one of our
Yes.
favorites. You got to add that to
Right.
it.
Thank you. You know, I will tell you, Jordyn, one day, one of my cousins, she's a teacher back home in Texas, and she texted me one day, and it was a TikTok link to one of your posts. And she was like, do you know her? Because she keep talking about Howard. And I said, yeah, she was one of my students. She said, I knew it when I heard her talking, and she was talking about black this and communication. She had to be one of your students.
And
Yes.
was. And was.
So I thought that was so funny. Well, I do want to ask you, how did your time at Howard shape the type of SLP advocate and even entrepreneur, if it did, that you have become?
I can go. I mean, it
Yeah, go
shaped
ahead.
everything for me. I feel like Howard, I mean, as most people will tell you, Howard changed my life. Like I said, I never saw a black SLP before I got to Howard, and just being around black excellence, like black SLPs, black doctors, black everything, again, just opened your eyes to what you could possibly be. But also, I think still to this day, we are one of the only programs that had, I don't know if we still do, but had a private practice course. And through that private practice course, I literally built my business plan that I use today. Like, I did everything. I made a pamphlet, I made my website, I made like how I'm going to get like attract clients. So that changed everything for me as well. But before that, we had a sociolinguistics class where I didn't know what the like disparities were in our field, and we had to look up the ASHA demographics, and I saw for the first time that the black SLP population was only 3% of the field. And that was when we were just like, okay, we need to, like, I really need to take this seriously. Like, these people are out here, they need us. And like, I'm in grad school, and you know, I'm also in DC and having a great time. But I need to, like, this is
Yeah.
very serious. And so that was when I really strapped in and was like, I need to take this seriously, and I really want to help my community.
Yes. Piggybacking off of all of that, I think for me, the biggest thing was not just having a community in academia during school, but afterwards, right? So, like, getting into these different settings, always having a person to text or email without feeling like you're a bother was such an important environment for me to foster growth. And then the overall arching theme of the conference that we've birthed out of now is feeling safe, seen, and supported. And that came from the echo of how me and Jordyn felt during our time at Howard. I can name a countless amount of opportunities where I just didn't feel like I was enough. At my undergrad, I went to a PWI, and I just felt like I wasn't noticed, like no one really cared. But the story of how I even got into Howard was at the time at UNT, the dean of the College of Communication actually knew a couple of the board members at School of C. And so he was like, hey, this is where you need to be. And I was like, what? Thank you for pouring into me. But if someone didn't do that for me, I wouldn't know where I would be today, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah, you know, Howard had the same impact for me, and I didn't come until my doc program, but I went to a HBCU for master's, so that was my first time seeing black SLPs, but two of my professors came from Howard, and they directed me to Howard, and then when I got there, I was like, well, I've never had my professor, like, come out for a hug when I'm coming down
Yeah.
the hallway before. But also learning, you know, when I knew I wanted to do neuro, I was just like, yeah, you know, I just want to study brain injury. It doesn't matter who it is or whatever. But after taking classes with Dr. Payne and realizing like the health disparities that exist and the health care disparities that existed for black and brown athletes and students and young adults, it just changed my world. So I totally understand. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
And then getting to you two. you've gone from classmates to, let's see, you were classmates, then friends, then your colleagues, and now you are
Roommates.
collaborators. And so, how did your relationship evolve into this professional partnership?
So I'll start the first half of it. Excuse me. So it was definitely from Howard. Um, I think Jordyn and we automatically clicked because, of course, our cohort is fairly small. We had about 10 of us, and you have people in your class cohort who come from all different facets. And so, of course, like a group project, there are people who you vibe with and people who you're like, oh, okay, she's just not my girl. You're not a girl's girl. But Jordyn and for some reason, just knew we were like, oh, you're on the same time as me. So from there, not only just in school, but even outside of school, we kind of knew like, yeah, we're in graduate school, but we also need to have a life balance. So we would be intentional with like, even though we have homework today, like, what are we going to do to pour into ourselves this weekend, right? And so I just love that camaraderie that we started to have early on in grad school that carried on to our personal life. And then we decided to be roommates. And so from there, during COVID is when I think our relationship really fostered and got stronger because everyone was online at that time. And that's when we just graduated. We kind of just started our CFY almost towards the end. And then, you know, George Floyd situation, and we were like, yeah, what is the SLP community doing right now with all of this? Everyone is quiet, everyone's on mute. So Jordyn and I was like, well, let's take our social media pages that we created in a class at Howard for business profile. Why don't we take those and actually use it? And so from there, we did one post and then it just spiraled into what we are today. So I'll let Jordyn finish the other half.
Yeah, I mean, social media, I think, again, during that, like, lockdown time, social media really took off. And I think Chelsie and I both learned like, oh, we have something to say and like people are willing to hear us. And so I think like it just kind of became an outlet for both of us at first. So we were just like, we've been through a lot in this field and the country was going through a lot. And again, back to the representation piece, we want to have both. Like, we want to be able to get things off our chest and be able to highlight the Black SLPs that are doing amazing things, highlight the people that the rest of the field isn't really seeing. And so we both really started doing that. Chelsie started putting on her stories, the Black SLP magic, and highlighting grad students and up and coming SLPs and like SLPs we should know. And so she was just like, you know what, like I want to bring all these people in person. And she created the very first Black SLP Magic Conference and sold out. It was like 200 people because I think it was crazy. I think we all kind of understood when we first started on social media, like we're not the only ones with this story.
Who feel the same way, yeah.
Who feel the same way, who feel like they're alone. And so that was like eye-opening for both of us. And then I think for me with the SLP social scene, like Chelsie said, like as much as we were very much academics, we also were very social. And for me, I wanted a space where we could come and be ourselves, bring everything to the table, not feel like we have to be buttoned up, and just have a good time with people who are like-minded and also within the same field. And so I think it just became a manifestation of all of that together.
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, it just took off. I remember the first one. I think there's only one that I haven't been to.
New Orleans, I think.
Yeah.
Or Boston.
It was probably New Orleans because I was only at that conference for one day. Wow. So we've been mentioning Black SLP Magic. Can you tell us exactly what is it?
Oh, Black SLP Magic. Just something that makes me feel it just gives me so much joy.
It is a shirt on too.
Oh, that's one of my favorite designs.
That is people's favorite design, actually. Black SLP Magic is a inaugural one-day event that brings together a variety of different speakers, topics, and panelists for opportunity for students, non-students, non-clinical, family, friends to sit together and talk about a variety of different topics related to speech pathology and beyond. And so this conference offers a space to where people can be vulnerable. People can get their questions answered on the spot. They can leave with emails, contact information. They can leave with CEUs. They can leave with just another outlet on how to attack this field in a way that feels empowering for them. So the conference is always, most historically, at the end of our National Speech Language Pathology Convention, ASHA. It's always on the last day of ASHA, which is the Saturday. So people can just kind of let their hair down and don't have to worry about jumping back and forth from event to event. And then, like Jordyn mentioned, conferences in the morning, and then the reception is the SLP social scene, where people can be professionally unprofessional, as Jordyn calls it. So yeah, that's the conference in general is not just a one-day thing. It's a way of life to me at this point, because everyone has noticed this familial atmosphere that they keep coming back for. So I've had people who've been to all 6. I think last year was really special for me because it was year 5, which was the same city that year 1 was in, which was DC. So the theme was like throwback, coming back to where we started. And with that was so amazing because we had so many people that were returning every single year. And I was like, oh yeah, this is something that's a staple in the community at this point. So,
yeah, I would say like that's the biggest testament to the conference is like people always come back, and people come back with like the best review that you could ever expect them to have. Like, this was amazing, and I'll be back every year, and the connections that they made, and most importantly, like, people leave inspired every single time. People come back the next year and come back like, I started a business, or me and this girl met at the conference and started a business together. Like, that's happened multiple times now. So I think it's really just a testament to the atmosphere that we've created, where it feels familial. It feels like you can trust the people that are there. And so I think just based off of those alone, like some of your barriers are dropped. And so it's easier to meet people. It's easier to make connections. It's easier just to have a good time. But yeah, I think it's definitely a one-of-a-kind space.
And I also want to add into that we get a lot of questions about, like, what's the difference between Black SLP and Basla, or Black SLP Magic and Made for More. And I always like to give the similarity of, like, pizza, right? You have Domino's, you have Caesar, Little Caesars, you have Pizza Hut, you have all these different type of flavors, but you kind of pick and choose what you want to taste, right? And so I don't think there is a competition between any of those. Right. It's all about a communal feel to show, hey, there's different options for whatever you need. And we have collabed with multiple other conferences and organizations too, which we love. Sisters, we had an event last year with them that was phenomenal. The turnout was great. Everyone was like, oh my God, we didn't know about this. We're so glad that, you guys are doing this. So we always like to encourage that, yes, please come to Black SLP Magic. Yes, please go to Basla. Yes, please go to Made for More. Go to all of it so you can kind of gain the most impact out of our field.
Yeah, you need the variety. It's like podcasts, right? Like, if you like crime podcasts, you're probably going to find all the different types of crime podcasts that are out there, right?
Exactly.
So, and speaking to entrepreneurship, because it is an amazing event, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the heartsy stuff of it. But when it comes to entrepreneurship and building something like this, it looks really exciting from the outside, but then there's also a lot of work involved, right? And what I really want to know is what have you learned about yourselves through these processes of, like, building a conference and keeping it going?
I would say the first thing that I've learned is being performative does not work. For me, I think that when people are trying to start off a business and they're trying to either copy or copy paste or imitate what has already been done, the audience can feel that. Your marketing can feel that. But when you are 100% yourself, like I think one year, I don't know if it was Boston or something, I straight up told people, like, hey, I didn't even want to do this year. I just lost my brother-in-law, my dad in the same year. And they were like, man, I feel that, because you're humanizing the experience. So I've learned the biggest thing is just be open and being yourself during this process. If you feel that, hey, I'm not really doing the marketing right, or hey, I'm not really feeling this year or this location this year. Change it up and see the response. So that's what we did, for example, for year 6. We knew, Jordyn and I were like, hey, authentically, Indianapolis is not a place for us. So we switched it up and we said New York. Let me look at my statistics and see where's our audience engagement. New York is always number one, and the response have been phenomenal. We even have to change venues because we're almost sold out. So that's just what I learned.
Yeah, all of that for sure. I think another big one is like how important it is, I think, to be consistent. I've learned through like social media, through like building any business, you can't just like build something and expect it to continue. It's work every year. It's work it's work throughout the year. It's work every year. And I think it's just you have to remind yourself what the payoff is, or what your why is. Like, why are we doing this? And I think that's easy for Black SLP Magic because it's so easy to see the impact that we've had. It's so easy, like when we all come together, like this is exactly why we put ourselves through months of hard work, working like 2 jobs, it feels like, doing this. But it definitely is a payoff at the end. And I think second to what Chelsie was saying, and just being authentic, I think creating something that feels real to you makes it real to other people. It makes it valuable to other people, and not being afraid to start. I think most of the things that we've done, both Chelsie and I, is we didn't have it all figured out. You know, when we started, one of my favorite quotes is, I like to build a plane in the sky. You know, I just know I want to fly. I know I want to be up there, and so I'm going to get up there and figure it out as I go. And so just not being afraid to start, learn along the way. Don't think of it as an L. It's just a lesson. And, you know, don't make the same mistake twice.
Yes, and jumping off of Jordyn too is also, I've been taking feedback really as a way to kind of guide the model a lot. And so every year there's different feedback that I think is very valuable to the experience that people have. And so when you're starting a business, not making it only one track minded, you have to listen to the audience, you have to listen to the consumer and see what you need to change for it to work as well. So throughout the years, we've changed so many things, we've ditched so many things. And I think that's why the continuum keeps improving, because we are listening, not just providing and telling people what to do.
Yeah, that's all really good advice for people who are thinking about entrepreneurship in it. I was convicted a little bit on that consistency. that one is tough.
That's the hardest piece. It's the hardest piece in everything. It really is. But what's the quote? Your dream or whatever you're reaching or trying to reach is on the other side of consistency. Like, it's for everything. Unfortunately, like working out, because that's where my consistency lies. But it really is. I think it's a testament to life.
One of the things that you mentioned a little earlier was that your motto is safe, seen, and supported. And you talked a little bit about that, but I wanted to know, what do each of those words mean to you?
Go ahead, Jordyn.
Okay. For me, well, first of all, let's say how it came about. We didn't even come up with this model. This model was coined at the very first conference because people were just reflecting what they saw in the building. Like, so it was a speaker, it was Miss Webb, and she said, you know, like, we need more spaces like this where people feel safe, seen, and supported. And we were like, that's literally it. That's literally it right there. So that was a big one. For me, I think, first of all, feeling safe, kind of like what I talked about earlier, is when you walk into a room full of people you know are SLPs or related, and 90% of them look like you, for most people, that's an experience, or for most Black women or Black SLPs, that's an experience that we have not had, especially if we didn't attend an HBCU, especially if we've been out of school for some time. So that drops that barrier for you, or that shield of like, oh, I can actually be myself, okay? Like, that's one, I feel safe. I feel like these people are going to look out for me. Also, I just saw this other statistic about how Black people are inherently the most likely to look out for other Black people. They asked all the races. And it was like 90% of black people said like, yeah, I look out for other black people. And so I think that is just like a foundation of who we are as a culture. So feeling safe comes with that, comes with the conference. Being seen, I think, is second to that, because a lot of us, like Chelsie said in her PWI experience, like we were not seen as valuable members to the academics or to the field. And I think this conference highlights like, no, we see exactly who you are and what you bring to the table, and we want other people to see it too. And then supported, we're going to support that. We're going to amplify what you have going on. We're going to find somebody else here that can support what you want to build. And you're going to keep this family, because people keep coming back every year, and you follow each other on social media, and you make group messages, and you actually build a support system off of this one day, which seems wild, but like it does actually happen. So I would say that sums it up.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and what I'll add to that is the Black SLP magic. So the first time I took away a lot. I was like, this thing is good. It was packed in there. I was really proud of y'all, and I enjoyed it a lot, because you had some really amazing speakers. You had Dr. Humbert in there, and she gonna always say something. And Dr. Celeste Gadsden. It was so good. But the one that I went to that I actually spoke at, and I think I've told both of y'all this. When I heard all those students getting up talking about how they're so afraid to speak up about things that they were experiencing and things that they felt in their programs, it just touched me in a major way. Especially as being on the other side as a professor and being at a HBCU, we kind of just assume that everybody feels safe, seen, and supported, but sometimes that is not the case. And so since that conference, I've been very intentional. Every year I have conversations with the students about making sure they know that they can say what they need to say. I also tell them, make sure you read your handbook, so ain't nobody just telling you anything, right? But I make that a point to meet with them, make sure they know who's in their corner. I tell them to find somebody. I tell them, even if I'm the one that has done something to offend you, you got to go talk to somebody about it, right? And that came from attending your conference.
Wow. And then that's why I'm so grateful for the different audience ranges in age. We have new grads, we have seasoned, we have mid-level, we have everyone. So the perspective is so vast to where it's like, oh, someone has experienced something that I did in this space, which is so important just for motivation to keep going. I know sometimes when you're either starting or when you're in a rut, excuse me, or when you're towards the end of the career, you're just kind of like, what's the purpose, right? And it kind of reignites your reason why. So
it does. And I think it's just so rare to be in a space where it's like, I know maybe not everybody knows exactly what I've been through, but almost everybody here can relate to what I've been through.
Someone can.
And that, I feel like, is the most supported I've ever felt in the field, and being in a space like that. And like I said, I went to an HBCU. I did have a bad PWI experience, but I can't imagine somebody who never had that and then being able to come to this conference and feel that for the first time, like life-changing, for real.
Life-changing, honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And also your conference, it's not just for Black folks, right?
Not
You
at
have
all.
some of everybody in there.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about diversity and belonging, right? So we know that there's a difference between saying everyone is welcome and then intentionally creating a space where everyone feels like they belong. I think y'all have done a good job with that. What do you think that intentionality looks like within your event?
So for me, it has been to add non-Black speakers on the panel so they can provide a different perspective and show that, oh, like either I'm showing allyship or I'm learning something else to provide to the audience. So before, historically, I would just stick with only African American or brown speakers. But then as time goes, Jordyn and I started to change the model to say like, why not? Like, let's add all voices. So we've had Hispanic, we've had Latina, we've had, white, Caucasian. We now have a Hispanic male, trying to add more males in. Shout out to the males, SLPs in the field. Please reach out to us because we need you. We need y'all to speak. Funny thing enough, I wanted to have an all male panel, but Jordyn was like, no, that's I wanted to do that, and maybe one day I will do that. I just think it'll be so cool to see. There's a whole different perspective, but yes, making a platform not only just for our people, but for non-Blacks as well. So that's how I've been more sensitive to that.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's always just been important to make it clear that we're here to highlight the Black SLPs and the things that we've done. We're here to make the underrepresented feel safe, seen, and supported. And a part of supporting us is showing up. A part of supporting us is buying a ticket because, like we said, it's expensive. It's a lot. It's a lot to plan. But part of supporting is being in the room, is feeling what it's like to not be the majority. Like we encourage you to come, be the minority in the room and just like take a step back and see like things that you might not have known or learn from people while you're in this space that is like so rare to be in. So I think that's really important too. And then as far as like the SLP social scene, I think that messaging is just like, come be yourself. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you look like. I want you to come and feel comfortable and have a good time, whatever that looks like for you. I think that because we're two Black women and that's rare to see, we're obviously going to get Black women that see us because we see each other. But I think we do a good job, like you said, of letting it known like we're welcome to everybody and we want everybody to come learn in this space or come have fun in this space.
And I think y'all have kind of touched on this, but and maybe if you feel like you have, you can speak more specifically about this year's event. What can people expect when they come through the door?
Ooh, this year I am so excited for New York because actually Boston location was supposed to be in New York. Was it that, Jordyn? We were
Yep.
supposed to do New York a while ago. And the feedback we got was like, what? Why? Like, we wanted y'all to come out here. So this year, New York is where we are hitting, Brooklyn specifically, and you can expect a soft girl era. It is all about peace. It's all about protecting purpose, paychecks, and peace. We are pouring into ourselves so we can pour into others. Everything is just soft life. Think garden party, greenery. The venue we are changing to, fingers crossed, is more like an open and airy, kind of an art museum so people can tap into that kinesphere of artistry this year. Just so we have 8 amazing speakers. We are partnering with Speech Therapy PD this year to offer CEUs. And so the 4 different speakers come from all different facets. They're all New York City based. We have content creators / SLP. We have private practice / SLP. We have SLPAs this year. We have CFYs this year that are speaking.
Yeah.
So it's limitless as far as who can speak on a panel or do a presentation. I think I get a lot of questions about like, well, can SLPAs come or can, students come? Yes, anyone can come. And pour into themselves in the conference. So that's for the conference. I'll let Jordyn speak on the social scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think after the conference, you are going to want to continue to get to know the people that you are learning from and with. So we're going to do, for the first year this year, a like mocktail cocktail making experience. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be like our first little like mix and mingle hour with some more time after that. We're bringing back a couple of things from past social scene experiences that we're very excited about that I think are going to be very lively. And I think people should just be excited for a different experience, excited to just have a nice time with the people in the field that are like-minded and willing to learn and have a good time. But yeah, also food, drinks throughout the night and the day.
Oh yeah, food, drinks, merch, all the things.
Giveaways. We got some good giveaways this year.
Sponsors are going crazy this year. If you do want to sponsor Black SLP Magic and SLP Social Scene, please email us. We are self-funded business, so we are so grateful for all the sponsors that we get every year. Also, we have vendors, that a little shopping vendor space. Dr. Davis will be, selling her amazing cake.
Good.
So good. Oh, they're so good. So moist.
Man, I'm excited. I took the bag you gave me home and I cherished them. Let me tell you.
Yo, same. I think I ate mine in like the hotel room. I was like just gobbling on them. I was like, okay,
they're so good. That was the strawberry lemonade.
Oh, yeah. And y'all's people show up too. My dad was with me last year. Vern, he was like, "Are all SLPs this bubbly?" I said, yeah, kinda, yeah. And he was like, man, he was like, they buying everything. And my good friend Tony from Perry's Creations with the body care, she was like, anytime you want me to come to your people, I will come.
Oh, no, people come willing to spend.
Yeah, it's the vendor, and again, the vendors are SLP and non-SLP, and they always sell out. Like, always sell out. And so year 5 was so special because all those vendors were at year 1, and they came back, and I was like, tears.
Now, I know one thing I missed the picture y'all took with all the past speakers. I was at my table. Yes. I saw Dr. K. I said, you didn't come get me.
That was a good picture too.
Yeah. Many more to come.
More to come.
And so as you talk about the social scene, because that's like the party at the end of the night, it's also like good to acknowledge that even, we talk about all the things that we experience, like the hard things that we needed to come together for, but there's also really something important about experiencing joy, right? Yes. And why is creating a room for Black joy, celebration, and just having a good time also important?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my main values in life is that Black joy is a form of resistance. I think that's one thing that I hope I never lose. I know that we've all been through hard times individually and as a country. And so I always pride myself, same as when we were in grad school, like I'm going to make sure we're still having a good time. I'm going to make sure I take one day to go out and enjoy my life. Even if Monday through Friday was horrible, Saturday I'm going to make sure I do something fun and have a good time. So I think that's really just a value of mine to keep. And I think just Black congregation, like people coming together, is a historical thing that has always brought joy. I just went to like a museum of, I don't know what it was, like Black history or civil rights history. And they have like this whole setup where they were talking about how they protested peacefully. And one of the most important things was song and music, and how we're going to sing so that we remain joyful even in hard times. Like it was literally like, this is our history. So I think now being able to bring that into the modern times of music is huge in my life. So just coming together to enjoy music together. I think joy brings like bonds people in a way that nothing else does. Kind of similar to like, it's the opposite of when you go through a really, really hard time with someone, like you're kind of locked in. But when you're joyful with someone and you're like spending most of your time laughing, dancing, just having a good time, you're going to lock in those relationships too. And just solidify, what you just were building throughout the day at the conference. So I think just all together, it's really important to have this type of space. And also when it was created, it was right after the lockdown when we weren't allowed to come together for like 2 years. So it like has always been a huge value of let's bring us together. Let's have a good time. And remember why we do what we do.
Yeah. Did the SLP, Black SLP Magic and Social Scene, did they both begin at the same exact time?
They began the same year, but we didn't do the same day thing until the next year.
Okay. Okay. I was trying to remember because I remember you having a party in DC,
Yep.
and then the SLP Magic was at the place where it was this past year.
Yeah.
All right. So when you think about students and early career SLPs that are watching what you're building, what do you hope your work gives them permission to do differently?
I hope that the work that we are doing gives them permission to fill up the space, whatever spaces that they walk into. If there is not a seat at the table, leave that table where it's at and create your own table. And I promise you, people will fill that space in. Um, and I just hope that our field is starting to widen the range of what is possible for speech therapists, what it looks like for speech therapists, and how yes, we love our patients, we love patient care, we love clients, we love all the things that we do with our soap notes and everything, but there is always another side to it, which is your why and how can we foster this experience outside of just clinical care.
Yeah.
So that's what I would hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like similar. I would want future SLPs or anybody watching what we're building or what we've built to know that you can create your own lane. You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to like recreate something. Whatever you have in your head, like put it out into the world. That's something else I saw recently. Like, you don't want to no longer be living on this earth with your art still inside you, or with your creativity still inside you, or your ideas still inside you. So just don't be afraid to start. You have no idea the impact you can make. I think a lot of people are afraid of failing. And I think I would challenge them to think about, what does that mean? Because the only way to fail is to stop trying. And I think my second thing would be that you can build the dream. You can build the life that you dream of. Like, it's very possible to do exactly what you want to do, whether it's related to speech or not. Don't be afraid to take the first step and then just take the next step and then the next one. You don't have to know everything that you're doing now. Just don't be afraid to start.
Right. And with that, I think my other favorite quote is mistakes are proof of learning. You just have to keep making mistakes to learn how to grow from them. So, if I were to tell my younger self, it's just not to make everything about perfectionism. That doesn't exist. You have to make mistakes in order to learn how to keep progressing, take feedback, keep growing, always be a student. So I hope and pray that our next generation of speech therapists sees what Jordyn and I are building and continues the legacy, honestly.
Yeah. I think one more thing to I think one more to add on to that is, I think one of the biggest questions I get is like, how are you not afraid like to post or just put everything out there? Or are you like scared of the things that you say? Because, some things I say can be a little controversial. But I think I think what kind of guides me is like, I don't know another way to say this. I really don't care what other people like think about me. I think if you are good in your circle, you're going to sleep happy, you're happy with what you did for the day and the people's life that you touched and what you're advocating for matters to you. What other people have to say about it doesn't matter. You can have all the trolls in your comments. You can have people in the field think negative thoughts about you. That doesn't change your life in the day-to-day. It makes no difference to you, only unless you allow it to make a difference. The only way you allow it to make a difference is if you're thinking about it, ruminating on it, because you're letting people live in your head rent-free. So don't be afraid to just show up. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because you have no idea what opportunities or doors that could open just by showing up.
Love that. Y'all got some good advice there. Good advice. Okay. Finish this sentence for me. I knew we were making a difference when
We were selling out every year.
that is a good one. That is a good way to measure that.
That's me. And like I said, Dr. Dave, we are literally we have to do a different venue because New York, I'm like,
That is
what?
called favor and blessings.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes. Your
Truly,
cup is running over.
truly. I'm
Yeah.
grateful. We're grateful.
Yeah. Same for me. I would say I knew we were making a difference when I think the two biggest indicators for me I mentioned is the people coming back year after year, because I feel like that's such a huge thing. People like don't even go to ASHA convention once in their career.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
for people to come to our conference multiple times, I think is huge. And then the second one is people who have told us, I met my business partner through you, or through this conference. I met my best friend through this conference. I think those like messages that we get from people are so meaningful, because that's exactly why we do it. That's why we bring people together, because you have no idea the difference you can make when people come together and bring their beautiful minds together to create beautiful things.
Yeah. Okay, I love those. Okay. I feel so proud and full. Now we're at one of my favorite parts of the show, the lyrics. So we talked about your lives, we went through the language of what you do and who you are, and now we're going to talk about some music. And I named it this because, one, I had to put language in there just because of what I do, and I wanted to dig more into people's lives. But for lyrics, I do believe that music is the soundtrack to our lives, and so it's also one of the ways to get to know you and understand who you are musically. So, the first question I have for you is, what is a song that represents the season of your life right now? Or this season of your life right now, and why?
For me, because I don't think Chelsea ready.
Take your time, Chelsea. Take your time.
Okay. I can do it. I can do it because I'm in Black SLP Magic planning mode. I would say the soundtrack of my life, in conjunction to Black SLP Magic conference, would be Brown Skin Girl by Beyonce.
Yeah.
And the part that makes me giddy specifically is the end of when her daughter Blue Ivy was like singing like brown skin girl, and I was like, oh, it just gives the baton to the next generation. So I just love that part. And that song, the lyrics, your skin is like pearl, like just embracing your brownness, what you can do, how you're beautiful, how you can just be proud of what you look like and the color of your skin. So I tend to think of my little nieces when I think about that song. And again, we just touched on the next generation, and it's limitless. So that's my soundtrack right now.
I like that.
That's a good
perspective.
one. Yeah. That's not where I was going with that.
Where were you going, Jordyn?
Mine is Nipsey Hussle, Grinding on My Life.
Oh,
I feel like I think right now I'm in a season of building. I'm building a lot of things. I have my private practice. I have one school contract, about to get another, and I built Speech Connect, which is a directory if you're an SLP. Yes, if you're an SLP, go ahead and get listed on there. We got people getting booked. We got people getting booked on speechconnect.org. So I built that as well. I do other things outside of work, like my husband is the DJ and we do a lot of event planning. So, I just feel like I'm, like my advice, I feel like I'm building the life that I dream of, but it takes a lot of work to get there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that. Two ends of the spectrum, but also kind of matches your personalities.
right.
A little bit.
Very true.
If Black SLP Magic had a theme song, what would it be?
I would say definitely, I would say Brown Skin Girl, and also I don't know why this song keeps coming up, but Before I Let Go. I think that song has historically been played almost at every conference and social scene
Okay.
because of the, again, familial. We're at the barbecue field during break times. People are getting each other's numbers and names and reading name tags. And I just see that as a communal song to show celebration in a different
I love that. Okay.
I thought of two. The first one is "We Are Family" because we are family. I feel like that's just the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe.
My aunt loves that song.
It's hard not to love. I feel like that's hard not to vibe to when it comes on. But I feel like that fits the conference. And then my second one is "Young, Gifted, and Black," Nina Simone. I mean, obviously, to be young, gifted, and black. Like, it's a beautiful thing to be. I feel like if we are the picture perfect, you know, like if they put that in the dictionary, a picture of Black SLP Magic Conference would be right there. So that's my theme song.
Yeah. Y'all got such range and variety. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now, what's the song that comes on at the social scene that's going to get you out of your seat or out of a conversation that you're in?
Oh,
You ready? I'm ready.
one.
Go
I
ahead.
have one. I have one. Oof. I have a couple. Go ahead, Jordyn. Let me see where you're
I
going
know,
first.
no, this one is very hard because I could go a lot of ways. I can go a lot of ways with this. But I went with Flex, the line dance song. Flex, Flex, no. I don't know
what
what
Okay.
you're
his
talking
name is.
about.
But
See, I
yeah,
was
the
going
line
a little-
dance.
I was going juvenile.
For the 9-9.
Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. You could go so many ways.
That's where I was going. Because that's how we get at the social scene.
Right.
It's fun. It's like, turn up, you know,
great.
have fun, move your body and move. So, yeah, I was going juvenile.
Great answer.
Those are good choices. All right, so now you also doing a lot of work, right? So building community and running business, it can be exhausting. And y'all did talk about how this year's theme is the soft era, right? So what's on the playlist when you need to rest or reset, protect your peace, or remind yourself why you're doing this work?
Ooh, okay, mine right now is, I would say my top three is Asake. He's a Nigerian artist, and his music is just very spiritual, and he also speaks Yoruba in his music, which is a Nigerian dialect. My second one will be Drake. One of his newest albums, Habiti. I've been playing it on repeat. And then what else? Alina Baraz would be my other one. She's a undercover artist slash mainstream a little bit now, but she works a lot with just different sound bases, and she's such a neo soul artist. So I would say those three as my like woosahs.
Gave me some I need to check out.
My Woo-Saw song has been the same since I was a kid, and it is "Put Your Records On" by Corn Ray Bailey or Bailey Ray.
Oh, yeah.
That's my song. Girl, put your records on. Yeah, no. Anytime I need to just feel good, that's the one.
Those are good. Those are really good. Okay, I'm gonna check out some of those you mentioned too, Chelsea, because I haven't heard of them. Okay, so I'll end with this. I usually like to ask, the last question is to provide like a scripture, affirmation, or quote that is something you say to yourself all the time. But you could also think about if you were leaving the next generation of Black SLPs with one message. And it could also be a song lyric as well. What would you want that to be?
I have two quotes. I have two quotes and a Bible verse.
Okay.
Okay. The first quote is Toni Morrison, "You are your best thing, period." Like, you don't need anything else. You don't need to be anything else. I think Howard was the first time I was known for just who I was as a person and not being the black one or being an athlete. And it was the first time I felt like people told me I was a good clinician because of who I am and not in spite of it. So I think "You are your best thing" is a really good one. The second quote, the one I live by, be the person you needed when you were younger. For me, that means like showing up, being the representation I didn't have. But for you, you know exactly what you needed and you can fill that space. And then my verse is John 13:11. You may not know now what I'm doing, but later you will understand. And that one I feel like is just, it speaks to, you know, like everything is on its own timing. Your path is already laid out for you. You don't need to be anxious. You don't need to stress. Whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. And even if you don't understand it now, it'll make sense later on.
That is very true. That's very true.
Those are great ones. I have two kind of quotes slash statements. I've been really into a lot of like pod, not podcasts, but subscriptions lately. Especially one by James Clear. He is the author of Atomic Habits. If yeah, him. So I've been kind of just like reading a lot of different practical ways to improve life skills. So one of them is just saying to yourself, you know, whatever you're trying to attack this is already for me. I'm just in process or I'm just in transition to get it. So that's something quick that's like, I already know it's for me. You know, you're claiming it, words of affirmation for yourself. You're, you know, trying to reach out for that by just saying simple thing. I'm already in process. This is already for me. And then my other one is my favorite one is fight to become the person your passion is turning you into. That one just gives me butterflies. I don't know. It's just, you know, you have passions that's how we move as humans, right? We have passions that fuel our heart, our soul, our mind, and just continue every day when you wake up and you hit that snooze button. Like, I'm grateful to be at SLP. I'm grateful to get a paycheck. I'm grateful to have air in my lungs. I'm grateful to see. I'm grateful to have movement. I'm grateful to eat, you know, and so just continue to fight for that person that your passion wants to be.
That's good. That's good. That reminds me, there's a picture I have hanging in my room that says, don't be afraid to do the thing that sets your soul on fire. And so it's
Yeah.
the first thing I see when I wake up every day.
Mhm.
Okay. Very good. This has been so good. I mean, I knew a lot about you just from, having you as students, but you've grown and changed over time, and I learned a lot about you today. I am so very proud of the work that you both have done, what you created. I always am promoting it, and I'm telling people they should go, and then there's some people I'm telling them maybe you shouldn't go. But it just depends on the person. But no, I do. I think that everyone would gain from attending Black SOP Magic and the social scene. I wish you both the most success, more than you can handle. Looks like you're getting it already, but even more. I
Thank
can't wait to
you.
see what all you can do. Can you tell everybody where they can find you, how they can get tickets?
Oh, yeah. So you can get tickets at Black, like the color, slpmagic.org. We are almost at the slim pickings, peeps. So no tickets will be sold at the door. Get your tickets while you can. And then you can find Jordyn and I on Instagram, Black SLP Magic. JRC underscore the SLP, ESEK Health or Social Scene. And yeah, pretty simple. We're everywhere. So you can find us. Jordyn's on TikTok. I'm not really a TikToker. Jordyn's on TikTok for those Gen Zers on the call, on listening in. And then yeah, I think I got them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think so. And I'll also put the information in the show notes. I mean, by the time the episode come out, y'all might be sold out already, but
Right.
we'll still put it down there just
Yeah,
in
just in
case.
case.
All right, well, that's a wrap for this episode of Life, Language, and Lyrics. I hope you found something meaningful, inspiring, or even comforting in this episode. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow on YouTube and Instagram. Your support helps spread messages like this and keeps these conversations going. Until next time, take care, stay inspired, and keep showing up for yourselves. See y'all soon.